Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to De-Influenced, my new podcast, my first podcast, and I am stoked. I'm stoked to finally be starting this. Now, I am actually recording this segment a day or two after I recorded the first episode, but basically, long story short, I decided to test out my new mic and ended up filming a podcast episode. Just a short one, just a short little blurb talking about some major problems that I've noticed and talking about kind of the direction that I want this podcast to go in. But I was, I don't know, 15 minutes in or so and realized, hey, we haven't even introduced ourselves yet. And there was no intro, there's no outro. And again, this is my first podcast, my first try at this. It's my first time kind of opening up, talking about a subject or stating my opinion publicly on something. And yeah, it's going to be a little awkward at first, like right now, I guess. Anyways, because I've kind of been a silent supporter of um, the the movement to expose family vloggers for, being fake or being terrible people or, just downright exploiting their children. And I think that 2024, we're going to see some really, really big changes in the laws surrounding children online. And it's going to be so good to see because now with all these kids coming out and horror stories and basically, if you know, all the stuff. I am glad that at least hopefully in the next year or so, most states and provinces will have regulations for children online and the exposure of children online and what you are allowed to share online, because the depth, some of the family vloggers, to kind of hone in on that topic for a minute, the depths that some of them go to get likes, get clicks, get attention. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it, but the depths that some of the people go is insane. The stuff they share, the oversharing, some of them are sharing diagnoses and their kids' medication, and others are sharing their daughter's first periods and their first time shaving their legs and trips to the dentist and stuff like that. And you have to sit back and think, like, why, who needs this, who is consuming this content? And they'll try and come up with excuses about raising awareness or normalizing or whatever, but it it's not who's consuming the content. The audience that they're claiming to, associate with, to be helping, to be informing, whatever, that's not the audience that is consuming the content. And it's really scary for these kids, and it's really, really sad for these kids too, because they frankly, they can't give informed consent. But to not get too far on that topic, because this is kind of just a, hey, I realized I didn't say half the stuff I was supposed to say in the first one. I wanted to give a quick introduction. My name is Sasha. I apologize for the chaos that is my ADHD brain. We'll work on it. We'll get used to it, and as I get more comfortable with my wording, with my delivery, and as the podcast grows, I will hone in on that, hopefully. But yeah, I'm a mom of 4 kids. I have a 15-year-old bonus baby. I have a almost 9-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, and a 1.5-year-old boy. And yeah, we're busy over here and just living life. And my journey on kids online and social media and content and stuff like that, I did used to post my kids publicly online and share that and share, stuff we're doing or places we're going. And since learning about just the sheer number of predators that are online and how easy it is for them to create a fake account, to follow and search up tags and just find content. It was just, it's been a really eye-opening time, and I decided to take most pictures of my children down off the internet. Now, this is kind of where this topic gets a little fuzzy, because it's like, what can we share? What's the line there? And as I say in the episode of the podcast, I have been following the Dad Challenge podcast and a couple other creators in this journey. And I feel like the general consensus around people is, if you're making money off of your children, if you are exposing your children to known predators and not stopping, because let's be real, they're the cash cows, that is where I feel like the line is drawn on, like, innocent sharing my kids to, share with friends and family, and completely and totally exploiting your children. And I don't know. I don't think it's fair. And I think that with the movement having traction, that just another voice added to it, another person exposing it to maybe a different set of ears, another person talking about it, I think that it'll help that movement gain traction. And that's kind of what the goal is. I don't plan on sticking solely to family vloggers. They are a pretty big, I would say, controversial niche of influencing, but I don't think that they are, obviously the only problem. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because of all the things that I learned about family vloggers in the last few years as influencers, and the behind the scenes of it all, and like the yucky, like there's really gross stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and family vloggers being exposed and stuff. And I don't think it's okay that bad people have big platforms, basically, and get away with manipulating millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, it doesn't matter. Manipulating people, quote unquote, influencing people, and basically living, I don't know, living an entire life of vacation time. I don't know. I don't think it's fair that these people can portray this, bright, happy, innocent, great mom sort of whatever vibes on camera, and off camera be a completely different person, or a horrible person, or a neglectful parent. Because let's be real, like we've seen it, in front of our eyeballs. Influencers be neglectful, and I don't think it's okay. I think that kids nowadays are struggling so much, just like kids who aren't even exposed to the online world, who aren't taken advantage of by their parents and exploited by their parents. I think that the this I don't know. I don't even know what I think, to be honest. I'd like to this is going on, 10 minutes now of me talking, and I just really wanted to say, like, hey, who I am, kind of where I came from, and honestly, I have no clue where this is going to lead to, what's going to come of this podcast, and I'm okay with that. I just want to help spread awareness, which is so funny. It's so funny to say that, but I really do. I really want to show people the truth and help find real influencers, find real, good, solid people to give your social media currency to, and stop making dumb people famous. Like, I'm sorry to say it like that. And that's harsh, and it is, but we have to stop. We have to be more careful who we give our social media currency to. And I don't think it's okay for people to lie to gain clicks and likes, and to be just like downright crappy people and gain all this traction, all this following, because ultimately, like, it's dangerous, the things that they're influencing people on and telling people to do, and the idolization and everything. Like, it's just not, it's bad news bears is what it is. And I I genuinely believe that influencers and social media and the whole nine yards are one of the biggest causes of the mental health crisis that today's youth, like humanity, frankly, is facing. And I don't think it's okay. So, all this long winded spiel to say, I want to be a voice to help de influence you from the people who don't deserve your social media currency. And I'm hoping to interview some good people on this podcast. I really am. And just show you what a good influencer can be, and that it doesn't have to all be bad. It doesn't have to all be lies, but we really need to open our eyes and ask ourselves some hard questions and realize that the person that we idolize and the person that we think this influencer is more than likely isn't. There's been more than enough stories just in 2023 come out that has proven that. It's proven just that. With all that being said, let's get into the first episode. Again, I'm sorry, it's super awkward and weird and probably very rambly, and very, very unplanned. So it's literally just a long-winded vent rant thing. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll stick around for the next episode. Let me know in the comments and what you guys want me to talk about, what you want me to cover, what you want to hear, because I'm open to suggestions. Because again, I know what I want to talk about, and I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I want my audience to know, but it should be geared towards what you want to know and who you want to see held accountable for their actions, essentially. But I will get, I don't, guys, I don't know how to transition. I'm sorry. And I ramble, and then I get uncomfortable, and then I ramble more, like right now. So we'll just go ahead, play the first episode here. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm really excited for this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to whatever this is about to become. I'm not 100% sure. I have been a half silent, half not so silent follower of the end to family vlogger movement. Can you call it a movement? Anyway, suffice it to say, I found DCP, the Dad Challenge podcast, about 3 years, I don't know, shortly after he had begun his journey exposing family vloggers. And in that time, it's just been mind-blowing to see the audacity of some people. And this isn't just family vloggers. That's not my main focus, jumping on and starting to talk about this. But it is definitely one of the problems. My main focus is kind of influencer culture in general, and honestly how dangerous it can be, and it has become. Not only has it become predatory and dangerous contents being served up on a silver platter for creepy weirdos on the internet, but it's also, well, I guess you can say predatory in the sense that it gives power to this falsehood and this image of perfection that is so unrealistic for any normal human being to attain. And I honestly think that social media and influencer culture is essentially the number one cause of the mental health crisis that is, at least in North America right now. Because with social media and the algorithms and the content that it literally shoves down your throat, if you pause even for a split second on a certain video, a certain topic, you get indoctrinated. Oh, there's the kitty saying hello. You get indoctrinated with so much more of that content, and it is all consuming. And then when you factor in, oh my goodness, what's wrong? Come here. And then you end up putting teenagers in this world. And oftentimes, like, social media isn't monitored. It's kids end up having essentially free reign of their social media, and with very little, I want to say, knowledge of the dangers that come with social media and having a social media account. All that to say, I want to focus on kind of like, I guess, de-influencing you guys, really exposing influencers as they are, essentially, because most of the top influencers out there on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, like the lives that they show you are completely and totally fake. But they make you think that it's this reality and it's the standard that you should be achieving as a spouse, as a mom or dad, as a sibling, as a friend. There's all these unrealistic expectations that are set because most people who consume social media work full time. So how do you expect to keep up with someone who literally posts a couple pictures for their job, does a little bit of video editing, and even at that, some of them don't even edit their videos. Some of them don't have a mic set up or goodness gracious, a proper camera to film with, and they make millions and tell you, oh, like, just I don't know, just try harder, just wake up on the right side of the bed. But all this to say is I finally decided to jump on because I really think that in 2024, we're going to see some massive changes to social media, and I am here for it. And I'm ready to jump on and be a voice to put an end to the BS, especially when it comes to children and children online and influencers making people feel less than, because it's not okay. Everyone, for the most part, society can do without the Dahmers of the world, but everyone deserves to be happy and at peace with themselves and deserves to be okay. And I honestly think that social media is ruining people. If you look at the last year, so take 2023 for example, and all of the stuff that came out about influencers. There was Sniper Wolf, I don't even know what her name is, drama where she doxed someone and went to his house on her Instagram live. There was the whole Ruby Franke and Jodie Hildebrandt debacle, major parenting influencers. There's the Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Singh's debacle with another major influencer with a huge following. And the scary thing is now circling back, let's take Colleen Ballinger for example. Her main audience was teenagers, and her content was not made for teenagers, even though she'll claim to the moon and back that it's not her responsibility, it's parents' responsibility to monitor stuff and yada yada yada. And yeah, I said it's PG-13 anyways, doesn't matter. We take her for example. She's come back upset about being canceled. When you're posting to YouTube every day, clearly you're not canceled. Her main audience are children, and still are children that she is influencing. And I think that that's dangerous, and I think it shouldn't be allowed. There is proof that she's taken advantage of children, and she's used them to do work for her and use them for humiliating joke tactics and stuff like that, and is overall just not a good person. And she decided, I'm not going to be canceled. She decided to come back, which all the power to her, right? You can only be canceled if you want to be canceled. But with her coming back and her influence being teenagers, she's kind of, how can I say this? I guess she has skirted taking any form of accountability. She just thinks that, oh, I can come back and, whatever, everyone will leave me alone. Nobody necessarily wanted her canceled. Nobody necessarily wants anyone canceled to an extent. There's an extreme to everything, right? Hear me out. What people really want is for others to take accountability for their actions. That's where the problem is. You can't have these horrific allegations, truth or lie, come out about you, and then hop on YouTube, sing a ridiculous quote unquote apology song, and then, come back as though nothing's happened and say, oh, I did take accountability, I did apologize. No, you didn't. And that is literally classic influencer. Anyone who has ever seen an influencer apology videos knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm so sorry. This has been so hard on me, not the people that I hurt, I don't know what I was thinking, I've been doing a lot of work on myself. I took some time. Like, it's all the same thing. It always is. But they never change. They just get better at hiding stuff. Look at James Charles, for example. You can't sit there and tell me that after years of this same pattern, all of a sudden, like, yeah, he's better and he changed. Like, no. Go to therapy, go get help, and get off the internet and make some real changes. And I guess be careful who you give your social media currency to. And I hope that throughout this podcast, I get a chance to interview some actual solid influencers who do it right, who don't take advantage of their fans, who don't take their fans for granted, and kind of be like, look, this is the people you should be supporting, and really exposing all these like shiny, happy, go lucky influencers for who they are, because they don't deserve what social media has given them. It's lies. And I find that until you hear it, until you see the proof, it's really hard to believe that someone you idolize can be a bad person. It really, really is. And it makes me sad. Like, a lot of the Hollywood stories coming out and a lot of people who actually aren't all that great are being exposed. I fall into the same issue of being sad because my idol or someone I looked up to or someone I followed or someone I thought was a good person, like, really isn't. And I think that just raising more awareness and helping people be aware who they're platforming, like, of who they really are, is an important task. And I can see from my days in the dark, I can see the shifts and the changes starting to happen, and I am here for it. I am down for it. And I really want to jump on and hopefully become a voice to make these changes happen sooner and faster. I know this was a bit of a random video. I didn't even introduce myself. I don't even know, or this isn't even a video. Well, it might be a video. It might end up on YouTube. But I really just felt inspired to jump on and just start talking about things and start the ball rolling, because I don't know, I myself have been seeing videos about Colleen Ballinger recently, and I probably will do a little bit more of an in-depth video on that, but it's a little overdone and outdated now, so I might not. But for her to go on her vlog channel and be like, oh, I'm big sads because I got canceled, and then say that lies came out about me, articles were written and they were lies. It's like, okay, I mean, fair. She's probably talking about one specific incident, which would be green face, if anybody's been following the Colleen Ballinger saga, and them trying to paint her as you were wearing blackface and stuff like that. And I get how a lie can be really, really hurtful and it can ruin someone's life. I've seen some of my favorite influencers have lies pit against them that could literally ruin their lives. And it's a total BS lie. And maybe she is talking about that one incident, but to sit there and completely generalize, oh, I didn't get this gig on Broadway because I got canceled because of a bunch of lies that came out about me, that once again is discrediting all of the victims, all of the people affected by her crappy actions. And I don't think that it's fair that she still has a platform to talk down about the victims any longer. I don't think that's fair, while still never taking true accountability for her actions. She came on and she said, oh, I'm so sad, like, I'm so embarrassed about the freaking ukulele video, yet it's still up on her channel. I'm pretty sure it's monetized too. So honestly, if you were actually embarrassed, you'd probably take that down. But no, it's still up. It's still on her channel. It's still making her money, as far as I know. I'm not sure. I could look it up here. Okay, so I did just check, and it is not monetized, but it has 17 million views, which obviously it has 17 million views. It's such a train wreck. Oh my gosh. Well, at the very least, it's not monetized. But don't sit around telling me you're all embarrassed and yada yada yada. Like, literally, it's not even monetized. What is the point in keeping that video up now? If you're not making money off of it, if you're super embarrassed about it, which you should be, and on top of everything, it's hurting people, why is it still up? It makes no sense. Like, make it make sense, please. Oh my gosh, these people make my head hurt. Sorry, I'm dumbfounded. But yeah, I am looking forward to finally starting this channel. I am not sure of the direction it's going to go in, to be very honest. I don't know if it's going to be like a video gather information type channel, if it's going to be a reactionary commentary channel. I'm not 100% sure. Whoever ends up finding this can let me know. Let me know where you came from and what you would like to see in the future, because like I said, I don't even know once I edit this what this is going to look like, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We'll make it work. I think I will end this little rant here. Really, I just wanted to try out my new mic, so hopefully the audio turns out okay. Otherwise, this will have been a complete waste of time and a total endeavor loss, but it's fine. It's no big deal. Practice is practice, right? And yeah, let me know what you want to see going forward. Let me know of any influencers that you're like, yeah, you gotta cover this because this person's actually crazy. I'm really looking for like the shiny happy people, which is a whole nother can of worms. Speaking of that documentary, if you've seen it, if you know, you know. But yeah, I'm thinking people who portray perfection, but you know that they're not. Let me know, hit me up. And I will talk to all of you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.